Am I the asshole for refusing to let my family move into my $750,000 home after they kicked me out at 17 with just a crumpled $12 in a trash bag? I still remember the night my life ended, or at least that's what it felt like back then. I was 17, and my father, standing in the doorway of the only home I'd ever known, looked me straight in the eye and said, "You're on your own now." Then he tossed a black trash bag at my feet. Inside? My clothes, a toothbrush, a pair of sneakers that didn't even fit, and 12 crumpled dollars. That was the sum total of 17 years of being his daughter. As the door slammed behind me, I stood there on the porch, staring at the house where my little brother still slept in a warm bed. The porch light flickered. I still remember the buzz of the bulb and the smell of wet grass. I thought, how does a family decide one kid deserves love and the other doesn't? Growing up, my dad made it very clear my brother was the golden one. He was athletic, charming, the kind of kid teachers loved and neighbors bragged about. I, on the other hand, was the spare. He used to joke about it. Good thing we had two, just in case one didn't turn out right. He'd say it at barbecues, family parties, anywhere he had an audience. Everyone would laugh. Except me. I'd sit there pretending it didn't sting. Pretending I didn't hear my relatives whisper things like, "She's the quiet one. A little odd, huh?" My mom never defended me. She'd just smile awkwardly, sip her wine, and change the topic. It took me years to understand that silence can hurt more than words ever could. When I turned 17, I started talking about college. I'd been saving up from my part-time job at the diner, secretly applying to scholarships. Every night after closing up and mopping greasy floors, I'd stay up filling out forms, dreaming of leaving that house. When the acceptance letter came, full ride, out of state, I remember holding it in trembling hands, grinning like a fool. I thought they'd be proud. I thought, this is it. Maybe he'll finally look at me like he looks at my brother. Instead, my dad lost it. He said, "You think you're better than this family? You're not leaving. You'll end up broke and begging us to take you back." My mom tried to calm him down, but not for me. She was worried about the neighbors hearing. When I tried to argue, he grabbed my phone, threw it against the wall, and told me to pack my things. That's when he handed me the trash bag. I don't remember crying that night. Just walking, block after block, until I ended up sitting on the curb outside a 7-Eleven, holding that bag like it contained my whole identity. The streetlights hummed overhead. Cars passed. No one stopped. I remember thinking, if I disappeared right now, no one would even notice. I called one friend, Jenna. Her mom let me crash on their couch for a week. Then another friend's family took me in for a month, but nothing was permanent. Every stay ended with awkward tension, whispers about extra mouths or too much trouble. So I worked, every single day. 2 jobs, no breaks, sleeping in basements, skipping meals. Sometimes I'd walk to work just to save the bus fare. Every time I felt like giving up, I pictured my dad's face when he said, "You'll never make it without us." That line became my fuel. Fast forward 6 years. I'm 23, and somehow, through scholarships, night shifts, and pure spite, I graduate with a business degree. Not only that, I've started a small online company doing marketing for local stores. At first, it was nothing big. Just me, a used laptop, and an internet connection that cut out every few hours. But word spread. Small businesses started referring me. I built websites, ran ads, and did everything myself. The emails, the design, the clients, the invoices. There were nights I'd fall asleep at my desk, wake up with my cheek stuck to the keyboard, and keep going. It takes off faster than I ever imagined. By 26, I'd built it into something real. Clients from out of state, a small team, a real office. I remember signing the papers for my house, $750,000, paid in cash. I took a picture of the key in my hand and thought, this is what freedom looks like. No more begging. No more sleeping on floors. No more being the spare. Then one day my phone buzzed, a number I didn't recognize. But the voice? Instantly familiar. "Hi, sweetheart," my mom said, her tone soft, almost sugary. "It's been so long. How are you?" I froze. She hadn't called me in years. Not for birthdays, not when I graduated, not when I started my business. Not once. After a few pleasantries, she got to the point. "Your father and I, we've been having some hard times. Your brother lost his job, and your dad's been struggling with his health. We might lose the house." I said nothing. It felt like my throat closed up. Then she asked, "Would it be possible for us to stay with you for a while? Just until we get back on our feet." It took me a second to process that. Stay with me in my home, the one I built after they threw me out like garbage? I laughed. Quietly at first, then louder. She didn't understand why. I asked, "Do you remember what Dad said the night he kicked me out?" There was silence on the line. Then she sighed. "Honey, that was years ago. He didn't mean it. He meant every word." I cut her off. "He told me I'd never make it without you. And now you're the ones calling me for help." She started crying. Real or fake, I couldn't tell anymore. Then my dad got on the phone. Listen, he barked like I still owed him obedience. We're family. You owe us, OE. That word burned, I told him. Family doesn't owe each other, Dad. Family supports each other. But you didn't support me. He tried to twist it. Said I'd abandoned them. That I was selfish for not sharing what I had. I almost laughed again, because this was the same man who couldn't even share a roof when I needed it most. Before he hung up, he said something that stuck with me. You'll regret this one day. Blood is blood. Maybe that's true. But some bloodlines are poison. For a while, I felt guilty. I'd sit in my spotless kitchen, staring at the marble countertop, thinking about their tiny, crumbling house. I'd wonder, am I the bad guy for saying no? But then I remembered those nights, cold, hungry, terrified, when they didn't pick up the phone. When I cried myself to sleep wishing they'd call. When I realized that no one was coming to save me, that's when I stopped feeling guilty. A few months later, I heard from a cousin that they'd lost the house. My brother moved into a friend's place. My parents were renting a tiny apartment in a bad part of town. I could have helped them. I could have written a check and changed everything. But I didn't, because I finally understood something. Helping the people who broke you doesn't heal you. It just reopens the wound. Last week, my mom called again. She said they wanted to reconnect, maybe come over for dinner. Her voice cracked when she said it. She sounded smaller somehow. Not the woman I grew up fearing. I told her I'd think about it. But I already knew my answer. Because here's the truth. Forgiveness doesn't always mean letting people back in. Sometimes it just means you've stopped letting them hurt you. I still drive past my old house sometimes. The paint's peeling. The lawn's overgrown. It doesn't look anything like the fortress it used to feel like. And every time I see it, I think about that 17-year-old girl, standing on the curb with a trash bag and $12. She thought her life was over, but she was wrong. It was just beginning. You built the life they said you never could. And now they want a piece of it. But you remember every door that slammed, every night you went hungry, every time you were told you were nothing. And for once, you finally say no, because this time the house, the peace, the power, it's all yours. So, Reddit, AITA for refusing to let them in?